Hey, dude, it's been a while. It's been too long. It's been over a month. And I got some things written down that I want to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna try to keep this video extremely short. Update you with what's going on in my life. I know a lot of you guys are asking me on Twitter, Instagram, what's going on in my life. And for you guys that haven't been following what's been going on with me, I uploaded a video over a month ago, my last uploaded video. Go watch that. You'll get caught up. And just an update to that. So as you can see, where I'm at right now, where I'm recording right now is completely different. I used to live in South Carolina in the United States. Now I am in Victoria, Canada. Completely across the continent. I'm here at the Double Jump offices. That's not the main thing I want to talk about, dudes. What I want to talk about is what I feel led to tell you. Over the course of this past month, I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of thinking, and as you guys, a lot of you probably know, and then a lot of you probably don't know, I've always been a religious type of person. Same with, you guys know Preston Plays. He's very open about his religion. I'm a very religious person. I'm a Christian, and I've always followed values that were Christianity, but I've never really thought about what it actually meant, which leads me to now. What I'm doing right now in my life is, and I don't want to scare you guys. I don't want to scare you, and I don't want you guys to think that, whenever I come back to YouTube, that I'm just going to be, a Bible basher. I'm going to bash you guys over the head with the Bible and tell you, be a Christian or I hate you. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm just letting you guys know my life, what's going on, since so many of you are asking. What I'm doing right now is I'm truly giving my life to God. I'm letting Him, I'm His servant. That's what we're supposed to do in the Christian faith, give our life to God. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm learning everything I can about the Bible, about God, about what it means to be a good person. And it's difficult, but I'm doing it. I'm trying very hard to give everything I can to God, which leads me to YouTube. Over the course of 5-6 years, I have given every ounce of me to YouTube videos. That wasn't healthy. As you guys saw in my last video, my wife was not happy about it. It hurt a lot of things. I turned into a very bad person that I did not recognize, and I'm not going to go into too many details, but when it comes to YouTube, I'm giving it to God. I'm going to let Him do work in me, build me up to the person that He wants me to be, and I'm going to let Him tell me when I should come back to YouTube to, entertain you guys. I'm not sure. I'm praying about it often. I'm reading the Bible about it often and trying to figure it out. So that's where I am with YouTube. And I don't want you guys to, look at God as some evil being, not letting Sunday do YouTube videos. This is my choice. This is my choice. I am letting God decide for me. I'm letting Him. Anyways, okay, enough of that. Let's go to the next topic. There's 2 more topics, and they kind of coincide together. If you guys saw my last video, myself and my wife, Madeline, we separated. It's not easy. It's not easy. And, oh gosh. Sorry, guys. And with that said, we're still separated. But what I'm doing right now, I'm giving that relationship 100% to God. I don't know what His plan is for that. I don't know what His plan is for my life. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. But when it comes to me and Madeline, it's in God's hands. Guys, I don't know the answers. I don't know. I don't know. It's in God's hands. With that said, Madeline, guys, listen. Since my last video for the past month, I have one request for you guys before I wrap up this video. One request for you guys. Madeline for the past month and a half has been attacked by you guys, by fans of the Sunday channel. Stop. If I have one request, stop attacking her on her social media, on her Instagram, wherever. Stop being mean to her. This is not her fault. Be nice. There's no need for it. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the situation. Telling her very mean and hurtful things, it doesn't help anything. So guys, if I have one request, be nice. And if you can't say anything nice, if you're too angry, put down your phone, put away the keyboard, and don't say anything. Just be a nice person. She doesn't deserve it. With all that said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Just know I'm in a better place than what I was a month ago. I see a light, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. God's helping me a lot. He's doing a lot of work in me. So with that said, dudes, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. You have changed my life tremendously. I love you. And I'll be back. I'll be back when God's done with me. So, hopefully see you soon.